Most people know berberine for its power to fix insulin resistance and jumpstart fat loss. And we've all heard the truth that a healthy gut is the foundation for everything from your immunity to your mood. But what you might not know is that berberine is also a powerful agent for optimizing your gut health. If you're feeling stuck with chronic gut issues, a generic IBS diagnosis, or a restricted diet, keep watching. Because in this video, I'm sharing a real root cause solution, one where you can finally eat your favorite foods again with a flat, comfortable stomach, with the help of this triple threat functional compound. I'm Dr. Kate, and I help people get to the root cause of their chronic health issues using functional medicine. Today, we're diving deep into berberine, specifically how it acts as a game changer for your gut. Let's talk about exactly why this bright yellow compound might be the missing piece for your microbiome. So what actually is berberine? It's a natural compound found in plants like golden seal, Oregon grape, tree turmeric, and barberry. It's famous for two things: its incredibly bright yellow color and its intense bitter taste. This is exactly why you almost never see berberine sold as a powder or a chewable. Most supplemental forms are encapsulated or in tablets. If you've ever accidentally bitten into one, you know why. It is not pleasant for your taste buds. But here's the fascinating part. That bitterness isn't just protective for the plant. It's actually one of the primary reasons that berberine is so effective for your gut. Believe it or not, your gut has bitter taste receptors that are almost identical to the ones on your tongue. When you take berberine, you're stimulating those receptors deep in your digestive tract. This trigger does a few incredible things. First, it improves your overall digestion by signaling your body to release digestive enzymes. Second, it influences the release of gut hormones like glucagon-like peptide 1, or GLP-1. You've probably heard of GLP-1 in the context of popular weight loss medications, but you might not know that berberine helps your body support its own natural production of this hormone, which regulates satiety and blood sugar. Now, if your main goal with berberine is metabolic health and weight support, I've put together a functional fat loss trio PDF that you can download. It breaks down my top 3 products, including my favorite practitioner-grade berberine supplement, for using targeted nutrients to support your metabolism. You can find that link right in the description. When we talk about gut health, we're usually talking about getting rid of symptoms that make daily life difficult. I'm talking about things like chronic diarrhea, constipation, abdominal pain, and that sudden sense of urgency. Maybe for you, it's the upper GI issues, heartburn, belching, or even bad breath that doesn't go away with brushing. These are all common markers of microbiome imbalance. The reason I use berberine so often in my practice is because it is backed by a massive amount of research for these exact issues. For example, a 2022 study looked at the effects of berberine on patients with IBS-D, that's the diarrhea predominant version of IBS. The researchers found that over an 8-week period, the patients taking berberine had a significant reduction in diarrhea frequency, abdominal pain, and that urgent need to go. But it wasn't just physical. The study actually showed that as their gut symptoms improved, so did their scores for depression and anxiety. This is a perfect example of the gut-brain axis in action. And if we look at the broader data, a meta-analysis of 38 randomized controlled trials involving nearly 4,000 participants confirmed that berberine is not only effective for acute infectious diarrhea, but it often works even better when combined with traditional treatments to enhance their effectiveness. One of the most common questions I get is berberine safe to take long-term? There's a common myth floating around that because berberine kills bad bugs, it must also be ravaging your good bugs, similar to how a broad-spectrum antibiotic works. But the science tells a different story. Berberine isn't a scorched earth antibiotic. It's a microbiome modulator. Think of it as a master gardener. It isn't just spraying weed killer on everything. It's selectively pulling out the weeds while actually fertilizing the prize roses. In a 2022 study, berberine improved the microbiome's diversity and balance in the gut of Parkinson's patients, contributing to significant decreases in inflammation. Now, it's true that berberine has antimicrobial activity against some really nasty pathogens, including E. coli, Shigella, and even Candida yeast. It's even been shown to help knock out H. pylori. One of the cleverest ways that it does this is by disrupting biofilms. Biofilms are like protective force fields that bacteria build around themselves to hide from your immune system and antibiotics. Berberine helps break those shields down, making it much easier for your body to manage the overgrowth. But while it's clearing out the unfriendly bacteria, it's actually allowing your helpful bacteria to flourish. More on this in a minute. While it doesn't carry the same weight as a clinical trial, I can tell you that I evaluate a lot of stool tests, and I have yet to see long-term berberine supplementation negatively impact the gut microbiome. Because quality and form matter so much when it comes to berberine supplements, I always recommend using a professional-grade version. You can find my personal favorite in my full-script dispensary, the same one that I use with my clients. And if you order it through my link, you'll get a nice surprise. I'll put a link in the description for you along with the free download. Let's talk about why berberine is actually good for your beneficial bacteria. In that same 2022 study that I mentioned, researchers found that berberine improved the overall diversity and balance of the microbiome. One of the most exciting findings in recent gut research is berberine's effect on a very specific strain called Akkermansia muciniphila. Akkermansia is what we call a keystone strain. Its job is to maintain the mucosal lining of your gut. When your Akkermansia levels are healthy, your gut barrier is strong. When they're low, you're at a much higher risk for gut barrier dysfunction, or what folks commonly call leaky gut. Berberine actually acts as a superfood for Akkermansia. It helps increase its quantity, which in turn regulates inflammation and repairs the gut lining. This is the definition of healing from the root cause. Instead of just masking the symptoms of IBS, you're giving your body the tools to rebuild its own natural defenses. Now, I have to address the elephant in the room. Some people start taking berberine and they actually feel worse for a few days. They might experience temporary gas, bloating, or changes in their stool. If this happens to you, don't panic. When you have a highly unbalanced microbiome, meaning you have high levels of bad bugs or yeast, those microbes don't go quietly. They kick up a fuss when the berberine starts to shift the balance. This is often called a die-off reaction. In many cases, this is actually a sign that the berberine is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. However, if you experience more than just mild short-term symptoms, your body is giving you a very important message. It's pointing towards a deeper imbalance that could need more than just one supplement to fix. If berberine causes significant distress, my suggested next step is always an advanced functional stool test. We need to see exactly who's living in there so we can create a targeted plan. I'll put a link to my favorite at-home gut test kit in the description in case that sounds like the next step you need. And if you order it through my website, I'll send you a personalized video analysis and protocol so you know what to do with all of that good gut data. Now, if you're ready to start balancing your microbiome and supporting your metabolic health, the best first step is to grab my Functional Fat Loss Trio PDF. It's a great roadmap to help you get the most out of these protocols. And if you're looking for the high-quality berberine I mentioned today, you can find that in my full-script dispensary. Both links are waiting for you in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.